Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Albertsons. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. Greg, let's talk hoops. The Arizona Wildcats travel to Oregon and Oregon State this week in what has to be the biggest test of their early season. Is there trouble ahead, do you think, with this team?
Label this trip, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. You're going to see rain. But how much fire this year with the Ducks not being as good as they were, and the Beavers are really lousy. So maybe it'll just be a rain trip. That would be good for Arizona.
Right, if all they see is rain and no fire, that's okay? The only fire would be in the Valley River Inn lobby?
Oh, let's go sit there right now and have some hot chocolate.
Or something stronger, how about that? This is an Oregon team, Greg, that, I mean, is straight out of sort of everything you don't like about college athletics.
Yep.
You know, they've got the Nike money, they've got the brand new arena, they've got a coach who it seems like has brought in everybody who could possibly help his program, and it is all blown up in Dana Altman's face here in the last year or so. Is there any way he can get them back to national relevance?
I watched them, most of their game against Oregon State, which I should be shot for doing, and I didn't recognize anybody. They're just a bunch of guys named Joe. They're a lot like Arizona State, except they have one stud, Joseph Young.
So a bunch of guys named Joe and one Joseph, and one Joseph.
But, you know, they're no good. but when you go on the road, it's going to be a struggle.
Is Arizona good enough on paper to win on the road regardless of who they face? Or are they, I mean, are they good enough on paper to go to the Oregon schools and you just pencil it in win-win, or no?
This year, I think for one of the few times it should be win-win. And that's the only trip this year you can say that about. All the others are going to be tough. If they don't sweep this trip, there's going to be, I mean, they're going to close down Tucson if they don't sweep this trip.
Sure. You know, Greg, last March, Arizona went up to Oregon, played them in the Matthew Knight Arena. Was a pretty great atmosphere. You were there, right? And Oregon wins the game. Is there any concern if you're Arizona that you're going to be getting everybody's best shot, every arena's loudest crowd, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And will that rattle them? I mean, they haven't, with the exception of UNLV, a game that they lost, and maybe UTEP, they have not been in a hostile environment all year.
But how many fans are going to show up in Eugene with a bad team the day before the National Football Championship game?
It's a great point.
They're not buying in. They're front-running fans, Oregon basketball, they've always been. They're not going to show up in big numbers on Sunday night at 8 o'clock.
Wow. But you get to hear the best fight song in the league.
Yes, it's a good one. And plus they have the best national anthem, too.
Best national anthem, too. That'll do it for Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Albertsons. For Greg Hansen, I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.
It's game time here at Albertsons, so listen up. It's our goal to help you score great deals. So pay attention to the game plan, because you could win Cardinal season tickets, the chance for your child to be a Cardinal kickoff kid, or $10,000 cash and other prizes. Here's what you do. Look for this tag, buy $10 worth or more. Grab your prize code at checkout and enter it at scoregreatdeals.com. Now let's play football. Get in the game for your chance to win.